is we're going to talk about the 100 Years' War. And I know you really can't see that very well, but that says 1347 to 1453. So we're just going to talk about this and some things that happened during it. Let it load up here. So the 100 Years' War, 1347 to 1453. 1347 to 1453. I know it's all slanted and you can't see it very well, but we're going to talk about this. So, some causes of the 100 Years' War. 1. Controversy over succession. After the French king died without a successor, the French nobles selected Philip of Valois. He was chosen over King Edward III of England, grandson of the dead king. In 1340, Edward claimed the title King of France. So there they are right there. Let me get my pointer out. Looks like that word is King Edward III, and this is Philip of Valois. French land belonging to British kings. So there's London, there's France. So this was under the English right here. This was all France's land. A longer-standing issue was the status of lands within France that belonged to the English kings. Edward was actually a vassal of Philip's, holding territory as fiefs from the King of France, and went back to the Norman conquest. A struggle for national identity. France was not a united country before the war began. The French king only controlled about half of the country. So think, for example, you had 100 Years' War. So some of these people who fought in the war were like 18, 20 years old. But then by the time when the war was over, they would be dead, just from old age. I mean, eventually that's how the war ended, because everyone just died off from old age. They finally killed everyone. And the funny thing was, once they got like 80 years in, some of the people were dying already, so they had to bring in a new set of 18, 20-year-olds. That's how it worked. The war was fought off and on for over 100 years. So the British dominated the early part of the war, and by the early 1400s controlled about half of France. So that part right there belonged to Charles the 7th. Yeah. The Longbow. The English used the longbow. The longbow was about 6 feet long and could pierce a armored knight from 100 yards away. The English used the longbow. Was 6 feet long and could pierce armored knight from 100 yards away. Its arrows had more penetration power than a crossbow. So there's one right there. There's another one. The British won early victories at Crécy, 1346, Poitiers, 1356, and Agincourt, 1415. So it took them about almost 50 years, 60 years to do that one. British longbowmen devastated direct frontal assaults by French mounted knights. End of the mounted kings, longbows spelled the beginning of the end for the cavalry and mounted knights. Matchlock firearms, which used gunpowder to finish them off. There's some early English victories. So remember, this was just a little section right here. section right there. Now it's spreading out. This is the height. It's really going out now. Here's some French boundaries. Keeps going farther and farther out. Joan of Arc, 1412 to 1432. Her voices told her to go to the king and assist him in driving out the English. She dressed like a man and was the king's most charmistic and feared military leader. Joan's victory. She was most famous for defending the English at the Battle of Orleans. Shortly after the French heir to the throne, Charles VII, was crowned king. She instantly became a symbol of French resistance. There are some cannons used at the war. There's a picture of the announced winning of New Orleans. Actually, no. She can't. She inspired the French and provided a sense of national pride. She was captured during an attack on Paris and fell into the English hands. Because of her unnatured dress and claim to divine guidance, she was condemned and burned as a heretic in 1432. So she only did this for 20 years. So, yeah. There's a picture of her. So, results of the war: Knights became obsolete, federalism and weakened, French kids consolidated power, France develops into a nation state, English loses power in France and become politically weakened at home. So, France in 1337, and there is the French in 1453. So the end of war. All the English have been taken out again because the French came back, and now France is dominated. So that is the end of that slideshow. Maybe. Okay, there we go. So hopefully you guys learned something, and don't forget to tell a friend how good they are, or whatever. Have a good day.